Hello, and thank you for joining me on this foodoffensive.com's weekly video update. If you try to watch my videos regularly, you will have probably known by now that I am way behind. I've been busy this summer with various things and work, of course, and so I'm a little bit behind, but I'm going to attempt to catch up without skipping weeks here. And so, in the interest of time, I'm going to do some of these next few videos off camera and just do them just the video, rather the audio version of them, and then there'll be obviously still, as you can see now, I'll be navigating websites and navigating the articles that I'll be covering on the screen. So if you're watching the video of this, obviously you're seeing that right now. But we are continuing this series we're doing on sweeteners, and we looked at aspartame quite in depth. And what I want to get into now is something that may not necessarily be so bad. It's a sweetener that could very well be the holy grail of sweeteners, as one person put it, holy grail of sweeteners. And so I want to look into that, and it's stevia. It's basically been termed as the natural sweetener, and I want to look here in the next 1, 2, 3 videos, something like that, about stevia, and going through this video would be concerning just the about stevia and history, a little bit of what it is and all that, and then we'll go into the next one talking about if there's any dangers, any problems that we could foresee, and maybe compare it to other sweeteners, and then also maybe look at in the third part, looking at what products you can find stevia in, or possibly what you could use the stevia in. So we're going to continue on here with a little background, a little bit of history on stevia. Basically, what is stevia? Well, it's Stevia rebaudiana is the name. It's an herb. This site says it's in the chrysanthemum family, which grows wild as a small shrub in parts of Paraguay and Brazil. So it's a Southern American naturally growing herb. And I'll look at another site here that it says that this is Zevia. It's actually a product it's an all-natural soda that has stevia. It's sweetened with stevia, and it says it's a small shrub and it's a member of the Asteraceae family of plants, more commonly referred to as the quote sunflower family. And the scientific name for stevia is Stevia rebaudiana. So that one kind of not sure which one, but this first article that I'm looking at here is from stevia.com. If you search stevia, this is one of the first things that's going to come up. And so, like I've looked at in the past, you can't always trust a site that's promoting a product. You can't always trust that it's telling the truth about it. But I want to just look. We'll get more into the safety of it later, and kind of try to cross-reference and look at different studies and things, and proving the point that it is safe. But as far as the history of it and the about, we can go off of this site here. Basically, moving right along, it says the glycosides in its leaves, including up to 10% stevioside, account for its incredible sweetness, making it unique among the nearly 300 species of stevia plants. There are indications that stevia has been used as to sweeten a native beverage called mate since pre-Columbian times. However, a natural scientist named Antonio Bertoni first recorded its usage by native tribes in 1887. So obviously it's naturally occurring, so we really can't say how early it was being used, but I would say the first person that tasted it probably realized the benefits of it and what it could be used for. And a little side note, it referred to a beverage called mate. If you've never heard of that, there's a product out called yerba mate. It's becoming pretty popular in America, and it's USDA organic, and it's really good, and it's all natural, and it really gives you the caffeine kick of coffee. But it's for me, it doesn't make me jittery or anything like that, and it's just a different flavor. It's not a tea, it's not a coffee, but it gives you some of the same qualities that you're looking for, and then it's usually sweetened with, a natural sugar or cane sugar or something like that. And in particular, yerba mate being, they have a sparkling versions and things like that. But moving right along to continue with our look at stevia here, this site goes on to say how has stevia been used in food application, and of course it talks about it's been a replacement for artificial sweeteners, as you can guess, with it being as sweet as it is. But being a natural product, you don't have to worry about some of the side effects we've looked at with aspartame and some of the other things we'll look at when we get into sucralose and some of the other artificial sweeteners. But it's also been used in various food products, including the Japanese sugar-free versions of Wrigley's gums, Beatrice food yogurts, and even Diet Coke. It has been used in Japanese-style pickles, dried seafoods, fish meat products, vegetables and seafoods boiled down with soy sauce, confectionaries, and a host of other products. And of course, Japan's been using it for quite some time, and it looks like it even has it in the Diet Coke over there. So that's actually a positive that it's being used there already instead of the aspartame. And that kind of speaks to the Japanese people turning down some of these, non-natural things. And when we looked at soybeans and GMO soy and how Japan pretty much kicked Monsanto out of there, and they didn't want the GMO soybean. And so that kind of speaks to their culture and what they're trying to do as far as that goes to keep some of that junk out of their food supply. Is stevia safe? Many people say that it is. It's been used by dozens around the world, tested in dozens of tests around the world, and it's been found to be completely non-toxic. Of course, it's an herb that's been used by the native Indians in Paraguay for centuries without any recognizable problems. And so like I said, we'll look more into the safety aspects of it and the health aspects of it in the next video. But as far as this one goes, we're just kind of looking at the background. It can, as this website goes on, it can replace sugar. It has none of sugar's unhealthy drawbacks, but yet it's sweeter than sugar. And in fact, how sweet is it? It goes on to say that it's 10 to 15 times sweeter than table sugar. And so some of the extracts claim to be 200 to 300 times the sweetness of table sugar. So it's very sweet, can be used in smaller quantities, and it doesn't have any effect on the health like some of the others, like natural sugar does, or any of the artificial sweeteners do. There's no calories in it, virtually none. It can be used in cooking. It doesn't caramelize like regular sugar does, but it can be used in various other cooking. Maybe we'll look in another video how they're extracted, how stevia is extracted. This site goes on to say, like I said, it can't caramelize like sugar does. It doesn't brown or crystallize. But other than that, the health benefits of it seem to be looking a lot better than even natural sugar, just regular sugar. Like I said before, Stevia is an all-natural soda going on here. They have a little about stevia in their website talking about it, and it's one of the only beverages I could find that had it in there for right now. Until we get to our next video, we'll be looking at more of that. But it's always a truism that the best things in nature have been used by somebody around the world for centuries, even millennia. They just needed rediscovering by the wider world. And this couldn't be more true of stevia. Stevia is a small shrub that is a member of the Asteraceae family of plants, more commonly referred to as the sunflower family, and that's what I looked at earlier. It was quote discovered, obviously, by the rest of the world. The people of Paraguay have been using it for centuries, but discovered by the rest of the world, and they're giving credit to Swiss Dr. Moises Santiago Bertoni from the University of Asunción, who in 1899 received a sample of stevia leaf from a colleague, and he named it Stevia rebaudiana after the Paraguayan chemist Rebaudi, who later became the first person to isolate the natural sweet compounds contained therein. And it goes on to talk about the different things. They refer to Reb A, which is basically the stevia extract. They're calling it Reb A for short. It's an all-natural sweetening ingredient, refers to relatively high purity rebaudioside A, naturally extracted from the stevia leaf, that is used in powder or liquid form to heighten sweetening intensity and improve taste. And so, is stevia safe? The USDA has recognized it as generally recognized as safe, and it doesn't have an effect on blood glucose or insulin levels, and studies have shown that high purity stevia extracts are safe for diabetics. So some approvals from the FDA, but the FDA has recognized it as generally recognized as safe, and they can use it in food products as a food additive. And so we'll look more into that in the next week's video, talking about the safety of it and health benefits or health side effects, whatever it might be. But WebMD also has a small writing on it about how it's been used for centuries, and how it's used as a weight loss aid. It's for treating diabetes, high blood pressure, heartburn, and so on and so forth. They even list for preventing pregnancy in here. I just now realized that. That's an interesting point to look at. But like I said, next week we'll get into the safety of it, and then the week after probably something like the products that it's found in, maybe any other information I might find. And like I said, I'm behind on these, but I want to really make sure the information is there and that I'm covering everything and getting everything as right as I can. And instead of just rushing something out, actually spending a little bit of time on it and making sure the information is there. And if nothing else, I learn about it, and I learn whether it's safe for my family or not, what to avoid, what not to eat, things like that. So that concludes this first part of Stevia and my whole series of special reports on sweets and sweeteners. So until next time, this is foodoffensive.com coming at you from the front lines of our food supply. Thank you for joining me.